Yo, what's up, YouTube? Hope all is well with y'all. Thoughts of a Predicate Winner back at you. This one's going to be short and sweet, man, but I did want to talk about this whole Rich Homie Quan issue. First of all, I want to say rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. My prayers are with Rich Homie Quan's family, his fans, his supporters, everyone that he took care of, everyone that he employed. It's a really sad thing to see. And I think that as a society, we're starting to become numb and even susceptible to the allowance of people dying from drug overdoses. And the sad thing is like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, most people that died from drug overdoses were drug addicts. In today's society, I think a lot of people are dying from drug overdoses that just like to toy around with drugs. It's a very dangerous time to enjoy drugs and to enjoy drug use. I want to start and preface this off by saying that I have, and I think that it's a very important time in the world to have discussions and conversations with your kids early. Me and my wife we have been discussing, because my oldest, her name is Cadence, my oldest just graduated elementary school, so to speak, before summer started. And I just got to thinking, man, about where I was at whenever I was in 6th grade or going into 6th, the different mentality that I had versus hers is going to be totally opposite. But I matured early, I'll say that. And I wanted to make sure that the conversation was had. So it was a tough conversation. I'm her hero, man. I'm in her phone as my hero. It was a very difficult conversation for me to have. Like, hey, this is who I used to be. All the way up until you were about 2 years old, this is who I was. This is what I've been through because of drugs. And she sees me now as like a Superman. Like, I've lost over 100 pounds. I take care of my family. I work 60 hours a week to make sure that they're taken care of financially. I provide, I protect. I'm the priest of my household. But that isn't who I've always been. And thank God, thank Jesus that I was able to get over that and that I was able to get past that. That I'm still able to get past that on a daily basis, because it is a struggle and a fight forever. But it's in your DNA, I believe, right? We can argue about that another time. That's not the preface and the importance of this video. The importance of this video is that I think that we need to start having the discussions. And if it's in your DNA and that is what you believe, and you believe that this is a genetic thing that you can pass on to your kids, I had to have that discussion with my daughter, And it was a tough conversation. It was. I had to let my guard down and not be Superman. I actually had to show her that I was super weak, super vulnerable, super in need of Jesus, super in need of the Holy Spirit, constantly, consistently, forever. I had to talk to her about jail. I had to talk to her about the evil that I did whenever I was, before I got saved. And that's whenever I was on drugs. The day I got sober is the day I got saved. But her reception to it was good. I asked her at the end too if she was ready to talk about the other thing, SEX, and I asked her if anyone else was talking about that around her, and she said no. And she said that she doesn't feel like she needs to know about it right now. So I'm not going to take her innocence away until, she's ready, But I feel like that's an important discussion to have early as well. I'm going to be vulnerable with y'all for a minute. I have a hard time with that, because I think that since she's my daughter, that my wife should talk to her about that, and she will. But my daughter has that relationship about talking about things and conversing about life with me. So it's kind of a difficult situation. So I'm glad that it didn't, but I wanted to open the door. It was me and my wife talking with her, and I just wanted to open the door like, hey, what do you think about learning about this right now? She was like, I don't feel like I need to quite yet. And I said, just please come to your mother whenever you're ready to learn about that. And I do think she's at the age where she needs to learn about it. It's just, to be completely transparent, it's difficult. It's a difficult conversation to have with such an innocent kid. And the circle that she's around, it's a softball community. It's, you know, and it's not something that she needs to learn about quite yet, I don't think, but it's close to time. But to shift the conversation back to Rich Homie, I mean, we've all enjoyed a slew of his music, man. He made good music. Wasn't the type of hip hop that I normally gravitate to, but you know, you hear it out at a football game or in the car or when you're out and about going to the gym, like it's a little bop, you know, he's got some bops, but you never want to see it. The famous aspect of it, I want to take out, right? Because you never want to see this. And unfortunately, we talk about this and have conversations about this more consistently when famous people are the ones dying. But the reality is that a 13-year-old probably just died a few hours ago. You know what I mean? People die from drug overdoses all the time. That's why it's called an epidemic. And I really do feel like the best way to get rid of the overdoses, because the fentanyl is touching everything, and the best way to get rid of that issue is to make sure those borders are sealed. You know what I mean? Make sure people are coming in here the right way, and you're never going to be able to get rid of it 100%, but it's easy to get fentanyl in here now, and it's easy to make the drugs more profitable with the fentanyl. So you're seeing a lot more fentanyl, and I'm thankful to Jesus that I'm off of drugs. Because if I was still toying around with them and if I was still hooked on them and I still needed them to survive, I would die. I would 100% be one of these people that have died from it, because I stayed going around to different people, putting stuff up my nose that I didn't know who it was. I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know nothing about it. I was just told this is what this is, and I did it. You know what I mean? So I would like to, and I feel like I am. I feel like I'm seeing a momentum shift there where it seems like it's less cool to be on drugs. And whenever I have communications with the public, I feel like less people are high, less people are on drugs. I see less pinned pupils. I see less dime-sized pupils. And it's really, we're in a state of change. But unfortunately, we're going to keep on seeing people pass. And I do want to say that my prayers are out to Rich Homie Quan and his family and his friends and his tight circle, his trust ones, his loved ones, his team, his fans. It's an awful thing, and I hate to see it. But we need to wake up to the fact that it's way beyond just famous people. This is happening to people every day by the hundreds. I don't know that number to be true, but I'm sure it is. Like, it's happening to a lot of people every day, and we need to wake up to that, and we need to pray for those people, and we need to figure out a way to get fentanyl up out of here, because if people are going to be on drugs and people are going to continue to use drugs, they're not asking for fentanyl 90% of the time. They don't want anything with fentanyl in it. They're being force-fed fentanyl just to survive and just to get by. And we need to get past this whole state of, if you're, I hate to say it this way, but if you're a drug addict, you need it to survive. But if you don't need it to survive, quit messing with it, bro. It ain't cool. Especially, it's nothing to glorify. It's not like, ooh, I'm off that lean. Nah, bro, that ain't cool. You know what I mean? It's not. So we need to get past that, surpass that, and then we need to figure out a way to help take care of these addicts, because the only way as of now to really get sober and to get clean off of drugs is you have to hit the worst rock bottom of your life and somehow survive it. And then you have to put your faith in a You have to put your faith in God. You have to put your faith in a higher being than you after admitting that you have a problem and after going through the pits of hell on earth in order to get to a place where you even feel like, you know, you're defenseless. You have nothing to offer society anymore. You have nothing to offer any of your loved ones anymore. And you have to just figure out a way to grow from there. The rose that grew from the concrete. But it's tough, man. It's a tough discussion to be had. But I like what Jelly Roll is doing by getting this discussion out to the forefront, going in front of Senate, going in front of, like, let's get something done about this fentanyl. You know, I think that that's step one. And that's all I really got to say, other than my thoughts and my prayers that go out to Rich Homie, his family, friends, loved ones, and fans, man. It's a sad thing to see, but let's remember that this is happening to a lot of people on an everyday basis. You know, something needs to be done, period. All right, y'all. God bless. I'll see y'all later on.